we're going to learn about the Indian electoral systems. So, firstly, we'll start with the meaning of the elections. What is mean by the elections? At its core, an election is a form of group decision-making process by which a population chooses an individual or multiple individuals to hold public office. It is a central mechanism and pillar of any modern representative democracy. See, it is stating that a person or a group of persons, they group together and they form a group which helps them to the right decision making process by which a population chooses. The people are chosen by the citizens of that particular country. If it is of India, the Indian citizens. If it is of America, they will be of the American citizens. Through elections, ordinary citizens exercise their ultimate sovereign power by delegating authority to their representatives. These representatives then make laws, form government policies, and run the administration on behalf of the public. It is stating that on the behalf of the public, the elected representatives that may be of the anyone's like the gender, if it is of the genders, maybe the man, a woman. Nowadays, it is being that more popular of the even of the transgenders. So let's remove the transgenders. If it is of the men and women, anyone who has elected by the citizens, they can form the government and they can form the government policies and run the administration on the behalf of the public. Let's come to the democratic legitimacy. That means elections ensure that government authority is derived entirely from the consent of the governed. Next, there comes a peaceful change. They provide a structural, regular, and peaceful method to review, re-elect, or completely change political leadership. Citizen participation. It gives every eligible individual an equal voice. That means stated a small quote as one person, one vote, one value, regardless of the wealth, gender, or the backgrounds. Next, here comes how were they held and by whom. That means how were the elections held and by whom the elections are held and they are being done. Conducting democratic elections in a massive, diverse country like India requires an absolutely impartial, independent, and professional authority. Historically and constitutionally, this immense responsibility belongs to the Election Commission of India. In short form, it is as a ECI. Elections are conducted following strict constitutional frameworks, legal acts passed by the parliament, and rules established to maintain transparency and fairness. Here comes the operational machinery. That means the ECI manages the entire process through a hierarchical network. At the state level, the Chief Electoral Officer (CEO) supervises operations. At the grassroots district level, the District Election Officer (DEO) and the returning officers (RO) oversee individual constituencies. There will be even the AROs. There will be even the POs and APOs in the elections. During the running of the elections, the constitutional mandate, the entire process is strictly governed by the statutory acts, mainly the Representation of the People Act 1950, which focuses on the voter registration and seat allocation. The Representation of the People Act 1951 focuses on the actual conduct of the polls, qualifications, and offences which are embedded and which are set by the constitutions. Next, here comes the phase voting and the logistics. Given India's population, elections are typically conducted in multi-phase polling schedules to optimize security, deployments, manage logistics, and ensure every citizen has the accessible polling booths within the reasonable distances. See the polling booths. See, if it will be of the any state among the country, there will be the polling booths. See, mostly the polling booths will be held or will be in the schools. The schools may be of the government schools, private schools, even in some of the colleges. That places will be considered as the polling booths. As in any school or the college, there will be the number of rooms and a huge place, showing that every room there will be the certain machineries of the elections required, like the voting machines, like the EVMs and the ballot boxes, also the chips on which we have to provide our signature and all the things. Next, here comes the faculty keynote. See, it is the keynote which is provided by us. So please note it down. Democracy is not merely a form of the government. It is a mechanism that keeps the rulers accountable to the ruled. The purity, fairness, and systematic execution of this process are what differentiate a true democracy from an autocracy. Next, here comes the introduction to the Election Commission of India. So the Election Commission of India is a permanent, autonomous, and independent constitutional body established directly by the Constitution of India. Its singular mission is to ensure the conduct of the free, fair, regular, and unbiased elections across the country. See, the Election Commission of India is never biased. It never be biased. It always be the genuine for the every person based upon a caste, color, free, fair, and regular basis. Next, here comes the date of establishment. The ECI was founded on the 25th of January 1950, which is celebrated nationwide as the National Voters' Day. This was just one day before the India officially became a sovereign democratic republic. Constitutional jurisdictions or the ECA is vested with the power of the superintendent's direction and control of the elections to the following categories or the following things. They are the Parliament of the Looks, the Parliament of India, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, State Legislative Assemblies, Vidhan Sabha and the State Legislative Councils, Vidhan Parishads, the Office of the President of the India, the Office of the Vice President of the India. All the said about things are considered by the ECI. They comes under the constitutional jurisdiction of the ECI. Only by the ECA they are elected. Next, here comes the crucial points to remember. Please note it down. Local body elections, they are the municipalities and the panchayats. They are not conducted by the Election Commission of India. Instead, they are managed by entirely separate bodies called the State Election Commissions, SECs, which operate under the Article 243K and the 243ZA. Election Commission powers are stated here. See, first we learn about this. What are the Election Commission powers? The powers of the Election Commission can be broadly classified into the three major functional categories. They are administrative, advisory, and the quasi-judicial. These powers allow the Commission to act as the ultimate custodian of Indian electoral democracy. The administrative powers are stated here. Demarcation of the constituencies across the country based on the Delimitation Commission Acts. Preparing, updating, and maintaining accurate voter registration rolls. Granting formal recognition to political parties, allocating unique election symbols to them. Enforcement of the Model Code of Conduct, MCC, to ensure no ruling party misuses state machinery for electoral advantage. Next, here comes the second category, advisory powers. They are advising the President of India on matters relating to the disqualifications of the members of the Parliament, MPs. Next is of the just wait a minute. Next is of advising state governors regarding the disqualifications of the members of the legislative assemblies, MLAs. Next, here comes the third category, quasi-judicial powers. Operating as a court for settling disputes related to the recognition of the political parties and allocation of the symbols, disqualifying the candidates who failed to lodge their election expenses within the legally prescribed time and the manners. Next, here comes the evolution of the Election Commission powers. See, for every body within the government, you'll be having a separate powers. So, see, the Election Commission is also having certain powers. They have been evolved from the era to era and the time to time. The Election Commission's operational powers and structure have transitioned significantly over the decades to match the growing demands of India's evolving democracy. Firstly, the single-member era. The timeline was 1950 to 1989. For nearly 4 decades, the Election Commission functioned as a single-member body, consisting solely of the Chief Election Commissioner, CEC. Sukumar Sen served as India's first Chief Election Commissioner, pioneering massive logistical exercises. Next, there comes the brief transition phase. The timeline started in the year 1989. On October 1989, the President appointed 2 additional election commissioners to cope up with the sudden workload increase caused by lowering the vote age from the 21 to 18 years. However, the structure was short-lived and reverted to a single-member setup in the year 1990. Next, there comes the multi-party, multi-member body. The timeline started from the 1993 and it is being continued to till today's time, to the present. In the year 1993 October, via an ordinance, the ECI was permanently converted into a three-member body comprising the Chief Election Commissioner (CEC) and the two election commissioners (ECs). They share equal power, equal salary, and decision making is done via consensus or majority rules. Next, there comes the era of assertiveness. The timeline is of the 1990s. Under the leadership of the 10th Chief Election Commissioner T.N. Session, the ECI aggressively exercised its existing constitutional powers. To eliminate electoral malpractices like the booth capturing, bribery, and muzzle power. This era firmly established the absolute autonomy of the Election Commission of India in the minds of the public and politicians alike. See, here comes the booth capturing. That means no individual person or any group of persons, they cannot capture the booth and they cannot say that it is our booth, only our people have to win, only our people have to win. When it comes to the bribery, no person or no political party can bribe the election commissions. Next, here comes the muzzle power. See, the muzzle power means the hooligans who will be having together and they will be threatening the people who are there, who are voting, who came to the particular booth to complete their votes, to fulfill their right to vote. And next, here comes the constitutional amendments and articles which are done on the election commissions. The framework of the election is anchored in the part of the Indian Constitution stretching from Article 324 to the 329. Over time, several critical constitutional amendments have referred and modified its wording. The Article 324, it vests the superintendent's direction and control of the elections in an election commission. It is the fountainhead of all ECI authorities. The 61st Constitutional Amendment Act in the year 1988. This landmark amendment amended Article 326 to reduce the voting age for Lok Sabha and Assembly elections from 21 years to 18 years. This massively expanded the electorate and institutionalized youth participation. The recent legislative evolution, Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Act 2023, passed by Parliament to establish a structured statutory mechanism for the appointment of the CEC and ECs. Appointments are made with the President based on recommendations from a high-level selection. Next, here comes the committee consisting of the Prime Minister, a Union Cabinet Minister, and the leader of the opposition of the largest opposing party in the Lok Sabha. This brings legislative clarity to ensure administrative transparency. Next, here comes a small summary for the checklist for the examinations of the groups or UPSC still member. This part of the Constitution, the articles covered, Article 324 to 329, structure 1 Chief Election Commissioner plus 2 election commissioners, equal rank, 10 years, 6 years, or up to age of 65 years, which is earlier. Removal. The CEC can only be removed from office in a manner similar to a judge, the Supreme Court of India. Okay, thank you. That's all for today.